Hello, and welcome to another Lincoln property blog, brought to you by Ben from Walters of Lincoln. Today we look at how Lincoln compared with the rest of the UK in the second quarter of 2026. As an agent in the Lincoln property market, I believe it is important to offer local homeowners a balanced and realistic view of both the Lincoln and national property markets. Far too often in the last few years, national newspaper and social media headlines have focused on doom and gloom, creating the impression that the housing market is on the verge of collapse. Yet when you look beyond the headlines and examine the actual data, a rather different picture emerges. We're going to compare Q2 2026 against Q2 2025 and Q2 2023. Why? Well, 2025 was deemed to be a good post-pandemic market, and 2023 was a tough post-pandemic market. Firstly, national homes for sale. One of the ways to assess the health of the British property market is to look at the number of new properties coming onto the market. In the second quarter of 2026, April, May and June, 488,933 properties were listed for sale across the UK. Interesting when compared to the 484,974 in Q2 2025 and 411,927 in Q2 2023. The average asking price of a UK property coming onto the market in Q2 2026 was £447,000, compared with £449,000 in Q2 2025 and £436,000 in Q2 2023. So not a big change either. The level of new instructions and listings entering the property market is an important barometer of market health. Yet during the financial crisis of 2008, the number of homes coming onto the market surged tremendously, tsunami-like, creating a significant imbalance between supply and demand and contributing to falling house prices. Therefore, whilst monitoring the volume of new listings is an important indication of market conditions, one also needs to measure the number of homes available for sale and the number of homes being sold subject to contract. Next, national homes on the market and the number of homes sold. The average number of homes for sale in the UK in Q2 2026 was 746,300. Very similar to 743,100 in Q2 2025, yet much higher than the levels seen in Q2 2023, when 605,500 UK homes were for sale. For context, it was 1.3 million in Q2 2008. Now let us look at the demand. In Q2 2026, 311,678 homes sold subject to contract across the UK for an average price of £369,256. In Q2 2025, the number of homes sold subject to contract was slightly higher, 4.9%, at 327,023, albeit with a very similar average sale price of £366,785. Yet when we look at Q2 2023, only 283,817 homes were sold subject to contract, again with a very similar average sale price of £365,111. So, on the face of it, Q2 2026 has been better than Q2 2023 for the number of homes sold subject to contract, until one realises that even though there has been a 9.82% increase in UK house sales between Q2 2023 and Q2 2026, the number of homes for sale has increased by 23.3% over the same time frame. The UK property market is still active and buyers are still buying, but there is a big catch. A smaller proportion of the available properties are finding a buyer. That means sellers are facing much greater competition, and simply coming onto the market is no guarantee of a sale. In this sort of market, realistic pricing is not merely helpful, it is everything. The homes that are correctly priced from day one are the ones attracting attention, generating viewings and securing buyers, while those launched priced too high risk becoming part of the growing stock that sits unsold. So now let us look how the Lincoln property market has fared over the same period. Starting with supply of properties coming onto the market, 1,685 new listings came onto the market in Q2 2023, 1,897 in Q2 2025, and 1,858 in Q2 2026. This is a 10.3% increase in new properties coming onto the market in Q2 2026 compared to Q2 2023 in Lincoln. For the next part of the supply story, We must then look at the number of Lincoln homes on the market. The average number of homes for sale in Lincoln in Q2 2023 was 2,824, in Q2 2025, 3,332, and in Q2 2026, 3,401. Again, a 20.4% increase in the number of Lincoln homes for sale in Q2 2026 compared to Q2 2023. On the demand side of the equation, 1,056 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract in Q2 2023. As expected, this increased to 1,318 homes sold subject to contract in Q2 2025, and in Q2 in 2026. This dropped to 1,208 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract. So we've had significant increases in the number of Lincoln properties coming on the market for sale, and the total number of properties for sale, and the growth in sales between Q2 2023 and Q2 2026 has been 14.4%. Interesting, don't you think? Final thoughts for Lincoln homeowners thinking of moving. As you can see, Lincoln performed in a similar fashion to the UK market, and whilst the Lincoln property market is still moving, home sellers are now competing with far more homes than they were 3 years ago. That does not mean homes are not selling. They are. However, with only around 1 in 2 properties coming to market successfully finding a buyer, realistic pricing has never been more important. Lincoln home sellers who launch at an ambitious figure and hope the market will catch up risk losing valuable time, becoming stale online and eventually having reduced, will more than likely come off the market unsold. Remember, 80.1% of the homes listed and subsequently sold subject to contract in the UK in 2026 did not have a price reduction. By contrast, the Lincoln homes that are priced correctly from the outset are far more likely to attract viewings, generate competition, and secure a sale. Ultimately, decisions about moving home should still be based on personal circumstances rather than market conditions alone. However, anyone thinking of selling in Lincoln needs to recognise that this is a competitive and price-sensitive market. If you are considering selling or buying in Lincoln, we are always available for a no-obligation conversation and honest advice based on your own circumstances. If you are planning a move and want an honest, evidence-based assessment of your home's current value in today's market, the team at Walters can help. To maintain our high standards of direct, personalised customer service, we strictly limit our listings to 20 properties per month. Our July and August valuation slots are currently open. You can book your professional market appraisal online at Walters Property Valuation or speak directly with a local expert by calling us on 0152 2512 513. Until next time, take care.